Hi, Dave Asher here with Nevada First TV. This is a show where we interview locally owned businesses that are headquartered in Nevada. Why? Because supporting locally owned businesses is the #1 way to create local jobs. We want economic development. We want job creation right here in Nevada. We're going to introduce you to the people that deserve your business. Here in the studio, we have Joe Dutra, the owner of Kimmy Candy. Joe, welcome to my first show.
Hey, this is very sweet. You know, it's a perfect time to do this.
I love it. You have done so much for the community. You have really branded Kimmy Candy like nobody else with their business. Tell us your story.
Well, you know, I brought Kimmy Candy from an offshore facility in Korea into Reno in 2007. We bought a building in 2006. We started building it out, and we started producing candy in 2008 here. And so we started with 6 employees. We have 35 now, so we're creating a presence in the state. You know, we like to call ourselves as the biggest little candy factory in the world, located in the biggest little city in the world.
That's a great tie-in. You're doing so much. Now, you did a trip with the governor overseas. Tell us about that.
Well, part of the thing is the trade missions. I've been on 2 trade missions with Governor Sandoval, and it's just been a wonderful event.
How did he even choose you? What put you in a place to get that?
I think he's addicted to the chocolate rocks. I think so. I think he's been eating them. We donate a lot to the mansion for Halloween, and I know he's got a couple of favorites, and I think he just got addicted, and he was just trying to take
you let the product
do its supplier along. That's right, yeah. So we ended up going to China and Korea in last year in September, and it turned out to be a wonderful trade mission. I ended up picking up a distributor in Hong Kong, and we're actually shipping candy from Reno, Nevada to Hong Kong. We're starting to change a little bit at a time, an ounce at a pound, and 1,000 pounds at a time, but we're trading back into China where we've been buying everything for the last 20 years.
Well, from an economic development standpoint, buy local keeps the money that's here. You go to those chain stores, you take the money that's here, you're sending it out of the area. But when you export, you're sending your product out and cash comes in and you're actually growing the economy. There's nothing better than exporting. So I'm sure that's what the governor had in mind, and you're just a complete success story on exporting based from Reno.
Right, and you know, and that's part of the reason that I brought the factory back to the U.S. because I had the opportunity of staying offshore for the total life of Kimmy Candy, but I decided that in 2004 that if I was going to create a company, I wanted to create it in the community that I lived in. I didn't want to create jobs overseas. I wanted to create jobs where I live because it was good for where we live. And the community as a whole grows. You know, we all talk about, you know, wanting to have super high-paying jobs in the area and all this stuff. What we really need is just jobs.
Just jobs.
Every person that's working is a benefit to the community, and that no matter what they make, they're buying groceries and they're going using services here that create other high-paying jobs, So if everybody thinks it's almost like the housing market, that we have to start at the very top and then pretty soon nothing supports it from underneath. We need to create a very vibrant manufacturing base here in Nevada, and I think that's what the governor's looking at doing is manufacturers like us, food manufacturers that are producing candy and shipping all across the U.S., Canada, Mexico now. We're starting to export internationally. We just started shipping candy to Korea this week.
That's amazing. That's a result of your last trip?
That's it. You know, so we're starting to keep moving products overseas. We're finding that with the existing U.S. economy, you know, weak dollar, that our export markets are very strong. And so it's great because what we're doing is we're sending, you know, candy out of Reno and it's ending up back, the money comes back here and we end up buying it from suppliers that are local, building machinery from local suppliers. And so it's great.
Well, you are definitely the role model. You have done a great job. You've really branded Kimmy Candy. Tell us about your product line.
Well, you know, Kimmy Candy is a panner. We're panners. What we do is we take a center of some type, either sunflower kernels, almonds, pistachios, dates, and we coat it in a chocolate shell. And then we put a candy shell on that because it transports well. So we have our 2 main products that are pretty much known across the U.S. are Choco Rocks, which are a candy-coated chocolate-covered chunk, and our Sunburst, which are candy-coated chocolate-covered sunflower kernels. Since we moved to Reno, we have Date Me's now, which we've got a few girls in town that are really wanting to use it.
So if you give that as a gift, is that
anytime you hand them the candy, you say, would you like a Date Me? And then you just got to say it fast enough, and it sounds pretty interesting.
That's just got to take off in the singles market out there.
That's right, yeah. And then we do We have a Kimmy corn, which is a candy-coated chocolate-covered corn nut. We do those in habanero.
Is that brand new?
That's brand new.
Yes.
Yeah. And we have our almond line, and we've got a couple of new lines. We're doing dark chocolate-covered pistachios, and we've just come out with a new Choco Rock that is a salted caramel.
Wow.
And I didn't bring any tonight. I brought a few.
I'm
other
getting real
products,
hungry.
but-
I see them here
Yeah,
now. We're
when-
going to dive in. Now, I heard something a while back about an organic line also. Is that going anywhere?
We're in the process of putting in a small new pilot plant here in Reno that's going to be a certified organic plant. We just certified Kimmy Candy so we can produce organic products at Kimmy Candy, but we're doing a new project, a small little factory over by IGT off Prototype. And what we're doing is we're doing peanuts there. And so because Kimmy Candy is gluten and peanut free, we're actually developing this factory to be able to produce some products that have allergens issues.
Wow. So you just diversified the market. You're diversifying our economy. Everything is amazing that you're doing. Now, where do we get your candy? Can we just go to any store? Have you made it everywhere?
You know, locally, well, you can always come to the factory at 525 Reactor Way at Kimmy Candy, or you can go to www.
And you get tours.
Yeah, and we do free tours. And locally, you know, Scolari's has been a big supporter of us. You can find us at Winco and Rayleigh's and a lot of different locations around town.
That's great. Now tell the website again. I interrupt. So
It's www.kimmycandy.com.
Well, now you know this is the greatest gift. These gifts are made with local love. You can't get that on any other line of candy. Folks, when you give a gift to somebody, yep, I'll do the Vanna White thing. In this Nevada-shaped box, I can see this sitting on the governor's desk. And I don't know why there's not 3 or 4 of these on my desk. So we'll be talking about that. Kimmy Candy, based in Reno, sold to the world.
You got it.
The biggest.
Little candy factory in the world, located in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada.
Well, thanks a lot for being on the TV show, and we'll see you next time.
Great, thank you. Life is sweet.
Life is sweet. And we'll be right back with our next guest.
I'm Suzanne Larson, and today our guest is James Pregg of New to You Computers. Thanks for coming in, James.
Thanks for having us.
And I'd like to ask you some questions about your company. Do you sell computers there and service them?
We do both. Where the name comes from, New to You Computers, we refurbish computers, a lot of which would normally be thrown away or improperly recycled. We take them, refurbish them, and they go out to people in the community.
And then those monies that you're getting, are they going to your other company?
Yes. New to You Computers has been around now for a little over 13 years. We are part of Disability Resources that is celebrating their 20th year here in the
Right.
community, helping people in the community with disabilities.
And so can people bring or donate their used computers for you? And do you have a way to pick them up?
We do. We have both. We have a facility there where you can come and drop off computers. We have computers that are dropped off from people in the community, local hospitals, and local businesses. We're currently working a campaign with Indiegogo.com to raise money so we can get a moving van to pick up and deliver.
Well, I'm sure our guests have some computers laying around. I certainly do, because I was in Silicon Valley. And everybody has some extra computers they'd either like to donate or maybe get worked on that you could help them. And where are you located?
We're located at 50 East Gregg Street. So we're on the corner of East McCarran and Gregg.
That's convenient, in Sparks, right?
Correct.
And then, do you have anybody there that could help somebody get the data off of their computer if they had something they wanted to destroy?
We do. Being that we receive computers in and donations in that a lot of times have very sensitive data on them,
Right.
we wipe those computer hard drives or whatever it is, whatever media it's on, we wipe them to Department of Defense specs.
That's very good. And does that have a name? You get a certificate when they're cleaned.
Yeah, it's data eradication or data destruction, and you do receive a certificate with that, releasing of all liability.
Well, and also you're doing it in a clean way, a green way. That's really your specialty. Certainly better than they're doing in Beijing right now, since they can't breathe over there.
Right. We are an electronic and computer recycler. The greenest way to recycle is to repurpose.
That's right.
And last year we repurposed over 1,000 computers
Wow,
back
that's
into the
great.
community, and 311 of those went out to members in our community with disabilities.
Well, and they're helping the community in so many ways. And I know some of you out there will have computers you'd like to bring down to this place of business, new to you computers. And if you needed the certificate for your personal business, they give you that. And also, I'm looking for another computer. Mine were stolen, so I'm really happy to have met you.
Oh, come down and see us. Come
I'd
down
like
and see us.
to.
We
It's
have
really
great prices on our computers. All the proceeds from both our store and our repair facility goes back to disability resources, helping them with their mission.
And so you also have Mac and PC and several other types of computers that you have at your place. Is
We
that
do.
correct?
Yes.
Good. So that really covers a wide variety of things. And I know that your association with the disability program is really something that's also needed in this community, and you've found a very good way to use your services to provide services to many people with disabilities in our community that wouldn't be served without your help.
Yeah, our main function there, our main reason for being there is to rebuild computers, refurbish computers, and they go out to people in the community with disabilities for next to no cost.
Well, and also too, I've heard that like people with autism nowadays have specialized computers where if they're having trouble communicating, suddenly they can communicate. That seems to be something really fabulous.
It is, and it keeps getting better every day.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Technology.
It's sort of a win-win for everybody, and just the two programs together are just wonderful. And I hope that you viewers will find either a way to help this company or use their services. So Indiegogo, that's a pretty unusual name, and I hear that your tagline is a vision, a van, a road to empowerment. That sounds so great. Tell me what you use the money for and why you need it.
Well, right now we're weekly. We have to go out and rent a van to go make our pickups for donations in the community, and with the van we would be able to do that. Instead of having to pick one day a week to do it, we can do it when we need to
Right.
to help people out in the community.
And you're also very good at repairing computers, I hear. That's something that people definitely need and at a price point that they could all afford.
We are a certified Microsoft refurbisher.
Oh, right.
So that allows us to install Microsoft XP, Microsoft Windows 7, and Office at very, very discounted prices.
Yeah, your competitive prices are really going to set you ahead, and it's doing good for the community as well. What a good double purpose you have.
It is. It is.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks.
Do you have a cracked windshield? Pay attention. We got Suzanne Larson in the house with her next guest and get that fixed for you.
And my guest today is Rob Hardy from Bright Glass. Hi, Rob.
Hi.
So tell me, how long you been in business?
22 and a half years now.
And in the field
In the field,
of glass?
oh, been in glass business for 35 years.
Wow. Guess you know what
Since
you're doing.
Moby Dick was a minnow.
I think that's true. And tell me, what kind of glass products do you produce there at your place?
We're a full service glass shop. We do automotive, residential, commercial, mostly automotive and home windows.
Okay.
So residential is a big part of our business, and automotive. Commercial, very light commercial, mostly storefront reglazes.
Yeah, I guess there's some graffiti and different problems with the malls around here occasionally that have to have a...
Reno's
job
not
done.
too bad. Reno's not too bad.
Hopefully, we're not too bad.
Yeah.
And you are going to be expanding, though, to your territory to be a little larger than just the Reno area now?
We have expanded, actually. We're doing a lot of Tahoe work, truckee work. We have a California contractor's license besides the Nevada contractor's
Oh, that's a
license.
good thing. You just got that?
About a year ago.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And originally, how did you get into this field? You were going to be something else.
Well, actually, I was studying in college to be an attorney.
Ah.
Didn't really like that, and just happened to get into the glass business, sweeping floors, and kind of did everything from there on up.
Well, you definitely have a lot of experience. So let's think about different types of people that come to you. Would it be insurance companies? What other kinds of people need your service?
Pretty much anybody 16 years and up could be our customer.
Right.
Mostly our demographics 18 plus. Usually the kids don't need too much glass.
Right. What about if you have just one of those rocks hit your window of your car? Can you fix that?
Oh yeah, we do a lot of windshield repairs, probably more windshield repairs than anybody in the area. At least we buy more resin to do windshield
Right.
repairs.
And they sort of put it under pressure when they glue it together.
Yeah, how we do it is we drill a tiny little hole into the brake area, then inject a clear epoxy resin into the brake area under a vacuum pressure, and then we cure it with the UV light, and then it's guaranteed forever that it's not going to break
It's
out.
a miracle. And do you service some of the auto industry here in Gitski, for example?
We do a lot of automobiles. We don't do a lot of the used car lots. Used car lots want to put in the cheaper brands of glass. They don't really care about the quality. So that's not our big forte. Mostly for Joe T. consumer, the
But
people
I
that really
guess
want good quality.
You really have integrity in your business. I know you're with the Better Business Bureau. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm actually serving on the board right now.
Wow.
We're A+ rated with BBB. We've been a
Great.
member for more than 20 years with them. So it's real important for us to take care of our customers.
So repeat customers are a big part of your business. Is that
Huge
true?
part of our business.
And so you were saying that you like to use the best quality glass when you do the job, so you do it right the first time.
Absolutely. Most people don't realize that there's different brands of glass out there.
Yeah.
The best analogy is tires. When you're calling around for a tire price, you know there's different qualities of brands out there. So you're asking the tire guy, well, what am I getting for my money? People don't know to do that with glass. But there could be 20 different brands of glass,
Wow.
superior quality all the way down to extremely poor quality for every car on the road.
Well, I see where a lot of people advertise those kind of sort of shoddy deals, faster or cheaper, and faster and cheaper is not always the way to go, obviously.
Absolutely not. There's a safety issue that's really important. Also, most people don't realize the windshield is part of this safety restraint system. So there's three components in the SRS, that's seatbelt, airbag, windshield. So the windshield's the backboard for the airbags when they deploy.
Wow.
So the guys that are doing the mobile installations and then handing you the key and then driving away, that's a dangerous deal.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
And so right now you advertise on what media, and how do you have people find you?
Well, of course, everybody knows Bright Glass through our animated TV spots.
Right?
So we do a lot of that, and then of course we have a website presence.
So
And,
you're really current in the type of things you do to
oh yeah,
bring
we're
in
on
customers.
Facebook now, doing that.
And you're located in,
We're at 100 Gentry Way between the Peppermill and the Atlantis.
oh, that's so easy
Yeah,
to
so
find.
easy to find. We're central in all of the area.
Some of the areas you're going to go to out of this area would be Truckee, and where else might you go?
Pretty
to?
much all of
Carson
Washoe
City?
County,
Oh, all of Washoe.
Carson, Fallon, Fernley, pretty much everywhere in this area.
And so some of the other things you'd work on is like boats, and you were saying that there's other things that people don't think of that need glass, and I was thinking of display windows or showcase windows and stuff like that.
For instance, we're the motorhome experts in town.
Oh,
We have
right.
glass shops that'll actually refer us because they don't have the equipment or the setup to do large RV windshields.
And that are curved or sandblasted or all
Correct.
those strange
Yeah.
things, right?
So we have a special scaffolding system to set up to install those windshields safely.
And what about, can you do taller buildings with glass?
We don't get into the high-rise commercial projects. We're mostly residential and auto glass.
But so you could do a two-story building.
Oh, we can go up to 6 stories, but
6
we
stories.
prefer to keep it under 3 stories.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. It's wonderful that you've come here to tell us about your company, because there's nobody who's not affected. I know I have a crack in my window and I'm always afraid I'll get caught.
Yeah,
not
everybody needs
having it
glass sometime.
ready. And so it's good that you have such a good, and you have such integrity in the style
Well,
that
thank
you
you.
put your business.
Appreciate the opportunity.
And it's good that you're not a lawyer now.
I agree.
And you're probably having a whole lot more fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for coming in. It's really great meeting
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Terry from SLR Productions. I'm on the set of our new television show, Nevada First TV. If you'd like your business spotlighted on our TV show, contact us at the following information. And we're back in the studio. Hi, Dave Asher here with Nevada First TV. You know, we're always interested in economic development and sustainability. Part of that is getting to know what can make us a greener state. We're going to interview Bob Tregellis, the local chapter president of the Electric Car Association. Here's Bob. In the studio today, Bob Tregellis. Bob has been leading the electric car challenges here in the Nevada area. He's been leading the feed-in tariff program to get the energy on our rooftops, making us money, converting sunlight into electricity. Bob, welcome to the show today.
Well, thank you, Dave.
I'm glad you're here. I know you're great in the community. You're well known. You do a lot of things with Earth Day every year. You bring the electric cars so we can all get used to them, so we can get to know what it's like to have an electric car. What do you want to tell everybody in Northern Nevada about the electric car world?
Well, it was funny that you mentioned Earth Day because it was 2007 when we formed the Electric Auto Association in Northern Nevada, which is a chapter of the national group, the Electric Auto Association. It actually has chapters even around the world. But in 2007, we formed the Northern Nevada chapter, and Chuck Schwackhammer and myself, we brought our EVs at the time, which was a converted KZ400 Kawasaki
It's cool.
KZ400
Yeah.
motorcycle, and Chuck's little Zap Zebra three-wheel pickup truck made in China, but the engine's pulled out and electric stuff was put in a company in Santa Rosa by Zap. And we had those two vehicles there, and of course we just had National Plug-in Day, which we're now putting most of our focus on now is National Plug-in Day each year, and we had, over 40 vehicles. There was half a dozen Model S's, Tesla
Right.
Model S's, $100,000 cars. There was a couple of Tesla Roadsters there. There was a Fisker Karma there. There was a converted hearse.
Yes, yes.
Of course, we do conversions as our main thrust of the Electric Auto Association, or has been. Or
I really
been,
favor the conversions, Bob, because you're recycling a car that's already been made. You're pulling out the power plant, the gas hog, you're throwing that in the trash, putting in the electric motor, adding the battery pack. That's really a neat way to go, and we're not really there yet where that's becoming more and more common. You are paving the road. You started with 2, and now you've got a whole bunch of them.
And dozens.
Yes, now electric cars are catching on here in Northern Nevada.
And we're putting in charging infrastructure
Yes.
going in all around the state. NV Energy has been very instrumental. They finally woke up and said, "Oh, wait a minute. People are plugging in their cars and we sell electricity."
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
duh, maybe we should be promoting this.
We're shifting our money from the
Right.
gas stations to the power company.
Right,
That's
right.
okay.
Well, but then there's also, of course, you could put solar on your roof. and
That's
put
the
your
next.
own gas
Well, don't get me
station
going on the
roof.
smart garage because that's my dream.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's definitely the smart garage is something. I haven't heard that term for a while, but yeah. that's
Oh,
definitely-
well, I think I learned it from you quite a while back, a few years ago. So now we have all these electric cars all over the place. I've heard this argument. Well, you still have to make the electricity, and that makes pollution. Well, tell us the truth about that.
Well, most of our electricity is generated using fossil fuels. Of course, you can control power plant emissions much more readily. They
Yes.
can control millions of tailpipes
Yes.
on the road, the pollution. But what's important is as we clean up our electric grid, which it keeps getting cleaner and cleaner as every year goes by, we add more wind, solar, biomass, geothermal.
Well, a lot of our-
particularly here in Northern Nevada.
Yeah, a lot of our electricity comes from Idaho, which is hydro, isn't
and
it?
that's hydro.
Yeah, so that's
Yes,
clean.
That's some of it comes from there as well. And of course, as we clean up the grid, then our cars get cleaner. But then another very important part of that is that electric cars are truly zero tailpipe emissions because
Yes.
they don't have a tailpipe. And this is very important in our urban areas where most of the use of EVs, electric vehicles, are used because we drive less than 40 miles per day. About
Almost all of
85%
us.
That's right. So in the urban area, if we can keep the air pollution, air quality higher, better, this takes the pressure off of our health system in that people with respiratory diseases, children with asthma, adults with asthma, and so forth, aren't nearly as severely impacted. And there's thousands and thousands of deaths due to
Right.
tailpipe emissions.
And then you've
because
got
of people with respiratory
the
disease.
lack of maintenance. You don't have to change spark plugs and oil filters and oil and all that stuff that gets, who knows where that all ends
They're real
up.
simple. You can count all the major
Yes.
components of an EV on one hand. There's the motor, the control, the motor controller, the throttle, the battery pack, and it's like, and the charger.
That's it.
So,
And what do you do? Change the
you know,
brushes every now and then in the
with-
motor.
With an engine, with an engine and a transmission, you got hundreds of parts of the engine, hundreds
Yeah.
of parts of the transmission, and
Now, as we become more into the electric world, electric car world, EV, electric vehicles, we have the hybrids. There's all these different kinds out there. and you'll have the full electrics that are going to have the charging stations everywhere. So we are evolving. Now, the technology that seems to be holding us back is the battery world. Where are we getting on that? I know this.
Not really. That's a big debate, a hot debate within the community itself. And of course, Elon Musk with Tesla Motors, who builds those high-end, the Roadster and the Model S cars, they're putting in really big battery packs. They're a high-end luxury car, and they're getting 230, 250 miles of range per charge. And of course, they're putting in the supercharge stations where you can recharge them up to about 80% in about 20 minutes. They're putting those in around the country. And yeah, sure, he said, he's demonstrating that EVs can be used in cross-country vehicle as a cross-country touring type sedan, but you got to pay the price right now.
Yeah, you do.
And it's very expensive. But this goes back to 85% of us drive less than 40 miles per day, so we don't need that big of a battery pack in the cars. And something like the Nissan Leaf, which is a more affordable consumer car with its 70 to 100 mile range, depending upon how you drive it and what the temperature is outside, isn't more than enough for 85% of us to use commuting daily around town. And then if you look at census statistics, the average American household has 2 vehicles. So why do we need 2 gas vehicles nowadays?
That's it.
When it's time to replace one, replace it with something like a Nissan Leaf for your daily commuter. And then when you got to go see grandma in Denver or something on the weekend, then you can take your gas car. Or you can take a Chevy Volt, which has both the benefits of the electric drive portion of it with a 40-mile range. That's where that 40-mile range is coming from. And then the gas engine to take you further, whatever, on that one day a month when you need to drive further than the 40 miles, you can go.
So there you have it. We're getting a little local expert in here, getting some local advice on the electric vehicle world. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
For the best in hair and makeup, check out Forever Young Hair Studio. Located at 120 Thomas Street, Suite 2, Midtown.
Finally, a place to stay and play in historic Virginia City. It's the best of the Old West at the 67-room Victorian style Silverland Inn & Suites. Now you can spend the night and enjoy a different world just a short ride from Reno. Indoor heated pool and hot tub, special events and activities are all available for your enjoyment. Stay Sunday through Thursday and a standard room is only $69. Call the Silverland Inn & Suites and discover a new way to stay and play in the Old West.